Welcome to the Open to Hope Show. I'm Dr. Gloria Horsley with my co-host and daughter,
Dr. Heidi Horsley. We're going to talk with Loanne Merrimama, and we're going to talk about how she transformed her grief through writing after the death of her daughter and her mother. And Loanne is the author of Celestial Conversations, and she's also a former host of the TV show Angels at Work.
All right. Well, welcome, Loanne.
Hi, Loanne.
Thank you so much, ladies, for inviting me.
I had a mother who was not very communicative, and we had a lot of unfinished business when she passed. As much as I have taught healing work and meditation, and I've helped other people, somehow I missed my mother. My big issue was that we didn't find the connection at a personal level. What she gave me was this tremendous open door to the other side the day she died. I was with her when I was called to her bedside, and the hospice nurse told me she was passing, and I sat with her. Oh, I don't know how many hours. And in the process, I know you've heard this from other people, she was looking up in the upper left-hand corner of the room, and she kept looking up there and mumbling things. She couldn't seem to talk, but she shook. I sat next to her, and in the process of watching her pass, she at one point sat up and just at a 45-degree angle, looked up at this corner of the room, and she went, oh, 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 and every wrinkle on her face disappeared in front of my eyes. And she just lay down and died.
That's amazing. So she was
Like
looking
that. And so in the process of rewinding the movie and trying to figure out what was it she was trying to show me or tell me, I was talking with hospice people. I was a hospice volunteer for a while, and they said, why don't you just journal about it? Now, I am a metaphysical comfortable person, even though I'm Catholic, and so I do know people have had the opportunity to reach to the other side, but they were always like mediums or saints or somebody important, and I wasn't any of those things. But I did want to know, and I thought, I wonder, my mother was a writer, I wonder if I tried to reach her through writing, she would be able to reach back. But one day I sat down and I had this journal, and I decided that I would say a prayer, because it was a holy moment for me. If it worked, it would be the best thing ever. And then I would meditate, and I had been a meditator for many years, and I wrote, Dear Loanne. And what was so interesting about that for me was that I wrote it exactly the way my mother wrote it for 50 years. And I just could feel something very different. So I continued to write the words that came to my mind. And what was happening is my mother was saying in these words that she was so glad that I finally found a way to reach her, because my criticism, my guilt, my resentment, my negativity was in the way of her trying to get through to me. But what I realized is that we had found something that would work for us. And I wrote down everything she said, including the fact that transpersonal communication was possible. I did this every day for 5 months. And I would get information like the fact that she was on 28 medications.
Wow.
I never knew that. She didn't live near me, and so there were things I could check. And so I would find myself letting go of that stuff that I had on, and as I let go, I was feeling lighter, and I was feeling like we were finally getting to that place that I wanted when she was alive. But 5 months, almost to the day after I started, I was in England, and when I called home, my daughter said to me, you got to come home, Cyndi is dead. She was our daughter, yes.
And what age was she in the line of 6?
She was the second child, she was almost 40. I wrote to my mother.
Oh, wow.
I said, you got to tell me, and what every mother says when they lose a child, is she okay? What happened? Is she all right? And it was so comforting for me to have these words saying, we, and she named all the names of these different people are with her, helping her at this point in time, and she is all right. I reflected on Rose Kennedy saying it's just not normal for a mother to bury her child. And I wrote to my mother saying, what in the heck am I going to do? How do you do this? And in the process of my mother's beautiful, beautiful words, which just caught my heart so beautifully, the energy all changed, and it was, Mom, I got to talk to you. I need to tell you what happened. And it was surreal for me because the energy was different, the words were different, the fast writing happened so quickly that I read it realizing that it was Cyndi telling me, on top of what my mother was telling me, is that I would not benefit from blaming others. In the process of doing this, I found that I was helped by the fact that I knew that Cyndi could reach me, but I was also terrified because I thought I was hysterical, you know? But I kept going back to my mother, and she kept translating what was happening to Cyndi and how we could help get things settled among the family. So there were all these wonderful things that came through from my mom. So we began what I have now is 6 different journals with Cyndi, 6 with my mother. There is this shock value that happens that you just cannot, and you know it very well, that you can't wrap your head around the fact that they're not here. And I think the first few years, from the point of view of the first year, it was very, very troubling. The writing helped me because I wasn't accountable to anyone else. This journaling, this what Cyndi named it, celestial conversations, where we could talk about, well, what do I do for Ryan now that he doesn't know you're gone, he doesn't know what happened to you? How can I help? And to have very specific directions, and then to be able to try it out. All I did was I picked a prayer. My prayer is a unity prayer, that the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. The other thing that I do is I meditate. When you have, the more busy you are and the more traumatized you are, the harder it is to clear your head.
Right.
And so I do the meditation, and then I take a pen to paper, I date it, and dating has become very important to me. And then I just write whatever comes. And when nothing comes, I stop and I read whatever it is.
What about the monkey mind, though, right after you've had a child or a family member die, and your mind's just going
Oh, it's
bananas.
like anything else, I think. It's like prayer, or it's like exercise or whatever. It's that Nike commercial. Just do it and see what happens. Because what happened to me was that 5 minutes turned into 7 minutes, turned into 10 minutes, and then pretty soon it was 20 minutes.
Now,
which is
how are
wonderful.
people going to find you?
www.celestialconversations is on the website. That's the website.
All right.
And internationalgriefcouncil.org.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for
Oh,
being
I
on this
loved
show
it.
today.
I
It was
loved it.
delightful hearing you and hearing about your story.
Thank you, Luann.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for watching this show today, and we want to remind you to visit us at our website, opentohope.com. And Heidi and I always want to remind you that if you've lost hope, please lean on ours and our guests until you find your own, and God bless.